Welcome back to Championship Rounds. Trying to get this done, trying to hammer it out. Yeah, week 2, NFL season. Everybody saw what happened in week 1. Some underdogs cashed in, and some favorites did what the hell they were supposed to do. Again, Championship Rounds. The boy Marcel Pierre. Like, share, comment, subscribe, whole 9. These are our picks. This is our analysis, and when I say we, I got the Workmans with me. That's Eric and Chris Workman. What's up, fellas?
Let's go.
Living the dream.
Wow.
Living the dream. Is that what we're characterizing it as? I think I'm falling grossly short of that, but I'm doing all right. You guys got anything to say before we hop into this and just get it done?
Let's rock out with their cock out, bro.
All right, sounds good to me. First thing I want to do is pretty much break down what we all saw Thursday night. Yes, the New York City Football Giants.
Sharing my life. You're great.
Sorry about that. The New York Giants went in to Washington, played the football team. Don't call them the Redskins. The football team found a way to win, and they got it done. I mean, should I say the Giants found a way to lose, and they got that done because they really lost the game. But I'll start with you, Chris. What's your biggest takeaway from Thursday night?
Don't have a huge take about that game. Didn't care for it too much, but from what I noticed, they didn't trust Daniel Jones to do too much with the football. They're trying not to lose instead of to win. Washington has a good defense, and they end up winning on the last-second field goal. So.
All right, so you really have nothing to say about how the game played out. It was kind of back and forth, and the kickers definitely got their workout in. Eric, what you got to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, they had to keep them hamstrings loose over there. They was kicking the shit out of it for sure. But, I mean, had to back up in Tyler Heineke for Washington. A good performance. I expected that after watching them play that way against the Bucs in the playoffs last year. I don't know what Chris is talking about. Daniel Jones was running his ass off. He didn't get a lot of yards through the air, but he definitely did on the ground. There was a big touchdown called back when he ran it in for a touchdown off of a so-so holding call. Daniel Jones definitely did his thing, I felt like. Still don't like Saquon on the pitch count. You know what I mean? I feel like they definitely needed the running game from him as well. But we'll see. He's still working his way back from that big injury last year. But they were evenly matched teams, and it seemed like Washington pulled it out, though, with a nail-biter.
All right, well, last thing before we move on to the first game of Sunday, I'll say this. The football team won the division last year. Do they win it this year? Chris? Eric?
No, I definitely like the way the Eagles and the Cowboys offenses looked in week 1. I think it's going to come down between them. It's going to be a war of attrition like it always is. An injury here, an injury there. The other team's going to have the leg up and get it. But I'll go ahead and throw it the Cowboys' way. They had a lot of injuries last year. Lightning didn't strike the same place twice. I think the Cowboys win the division.
All right, sorry, Marcel. I couldn't really hear you there for a second. No, I think it's going to be the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to be a solid team this year, actually, with the top 10 defense, Jalen Hurts, and now they've added some weapons, obviously, with Devontae Smith and others. But, yeah, I like them a lot. I think the Cowboys are probably one of the most overrated teams in the NFL. So, yeah, I think their defense is whack, and I'm not sold on Dak. Sorry.
Well, yeah, their defense has been, for the last few seasons historically whack. But I think you're still kind of a little butthurt that they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pretty close, even though that's not even your damn team. Tom Brady just happens to play on it. But let's move on to the first game I want to cover. Yes, it's again the 2021 Super Bowl champion, San Francisco 49ers, and we're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Eric, I'm going to go to you first on this one. How do you see this one playing out? Who is your pick?
Playing out, man. I'll go ahead and say it. I'll take the Niners in this one, but I'm not
Smart
saying it
man.
very confidently. I'm not going to lie. The way they let the I don't want to say hapless Detroit Lions back into it last week to where they barely won by 8 when the Lions had the ball and had a chance to tie it at the end, go down on it. Philadelphia was way more. Philadelphia did the damn thing against the Falcons. You know what I mean? They were way more definitive about their win on it. So I definitely think this is going to be a good game. Philly's just a little young for my taste on it, where it counts, and I think the Niners have the defense, and I think they'll use Trey Lance enough to really get it done as well this next week. So I'll give them the nod.
All right. So you felt like the Eagles were more efficient against the Falcons than the Niners were against the Lions, but you're still rolling with the Niners, smart man. Chris, how you got this one playing, Chris?
I got this playing out as Eagles +3 all day and sprinkle some on the money line. Why? Because the Eagles are a for real team and the 49ers are a decent team. However, I think last week was more of about how bad the Lions were than it was about how good the 49ers were. Also, it's going to be the first week, the first game in Philly, home game with real fans in a long time. So I think the Philly fans are a little different. They're going to be crazy. They're going to be out there pumped up, ready to see your 49ers go down. And let me tell you another thing. The 49ers, this is a big stat here. So they had 20-plus yard completions, 5 of those last week. Only 4 teams had more. However, the Falcons, who played the Eagles last week, didn't have 1 of those. So I think it's going to be a lot shorter field for the Niners, and the Eagles are going to run on them. And I think they're going to stop Jimmy Garoppolo, who I think kind of sucks.
All right. Well, that's an interesting take, Chris. Thanks for that. Thanks for your input on that. You're wrong. Okay. And, I felt like you would come out this week trying to improve your record that you had last week, but I guess not. I guess this is more of the same. But, obviously I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers, not just because they're the 2021 Super Bowl champions. No, not just because of that. No, we're just flat out better than the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, you want to fall in love with Jalen Hurts, who can make some plays with his arms and his legs. He ain't going to be making them against the Scarlet and Gold. So, if you want to actually win these parlays and win your bets, Niners. All right. Moving on from this game. Gonna make it short and sweet this time. Nah. Moving on. Next game. We got the Denver Broncos coming in as favorites against your Jacksonville Jaguars. Does Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer get off the schneid and win their first games in the NFL? Going to you first on this one, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if Trevor Lawrence had 3 interceptions last week against the Texans, he's probably liable to have 6 against the Broncos. And that so Denver -6, I'll take that all day.
Eric?
They're going to get yeah. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, sorry, I was waiting for my invitation. Denver, I feel like they found their perfect game manager in Teddy Bridgewater. The solid run game, solid defense. They even got weapons around Teddy. You know what I mean, with Noah Fant and Jerry Jeudy. Hopefully his health is good enough to where he can play and stuff as well. But yeah, no, they. I feel like they get the job done in easy fashion. Jacksonville rookie quarterback. I know he's a good one, but still not ready yet.
Yeah, they got their ass kicked last
week
by a weak ass Texans team.
All right, well, all right, this is where I'm at.
I mean, come on.
This is where I'm at on it, fellas. Yeah, you had Tyrod Taylor. He was out there looking like an actual elite quarterback when we all know he's not. Anyways, so let's this is my take on it, guys. All right, again, Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence historically hadn't lost a regular season game in his entire football life. We've known what Urban Meyer has accomplished, albeit scandalous, but we know what he's accomplished. I think these guys are coming out here with something to prove in this game. I think everybody knows that Jacksonville has a losing culture. They haven't done anything of note for a very, very long time. They haven't done anything of note since their inception into the league. I'm calling the upset. You know what I mean? We're not gonna get better picks than the next guy by all going the same way all the time. You know what I mean? Favorites go down all the time. I'm calling the upset. I think Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence find a way to beat these Denver Broncos and cashing in on that 220 underdog status. Anybody got anything to add before we move on to the next game?
Yeah, I'm going to throw it out there that I'm going to reiterate what you said to Chris. I thought you were trying to improve your record from last week, but apparently I was wrong.
Well, actually, I'm actually in the lead. Actually, I'm in the lead right now, and actually, I'm in the lead right now and fully intend on staying there. And we'll wait until when the flames dim, we'll see who comes out of the smoke. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead and move on to the next game here.
I understand the concept. I'm going to chalk that up to weak competition, though.
All right, there you go. Next game. You got the heavy underdogs and the heavy favorite. Yeah, that's the Houston Texans in there against the Cleveland Browns. I think it's on you, E. Go ahead. Who you got on this one?
I mean, Cleveland all the way, bro. They hung with
Right.
the defending AFC champions, right to the bitter end last week. Houston, I think, is just elated that they even stood a chance and actually pulled off a good W in week 1. I do like Tyrod Taylor and the weapons he's got around him, Mark Ingram, and their receivers and stuff with Brandon Cooks. But when it all comes down to it, it's just overmatched, definitely, on both sides of the ball. All three aspects of it, actually.
All right. To you, Chris, how do you got this one playing?
Well, I tell you, Marcel, you ever have like a friend or a family member or something that everybody likes, but they're kind of irresponsible? You know what I mean? You let them borrow $10 or $20, but you don't want to let them borrow 100. That's kind of how I feel about
you wouldn't leave your kids with them.
That's how I feel about the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if I can trust them with 12 and a half, 13 points. It's kind of a lot. So, I don't know. I think Tyrod Taylor and those guys who, by the way, rolling in hot off of a decent preseason. I think they stay within the number on this. So,
okay. So what you're saying is that you're picking Cleveland to win, but they don't cover the spread. Is that correct?
Correct. Exactly.
All right. Let me go ahead and step in as well. Definitely not picking the Houston Texans. I mean, they might have looked like, again, a good team last week, but that was last week, and they were playing a team that was fully intent on shitting the bed, and they did just that. So, with that being said, this is a parlay sweetener for you because this is a lock. You know what I mean? To borrow from HaHa Davis and say it twice. Yeah, this one's a lock. Definitely added this game in every single parlay that I have this weekend, and I plan on cashing in per usual. I think we're all straight and forward on this one. I think we all know who's going to win this one in our minds. But if anybody has anything to add, now's the time. All right, the silence is deafening. On to the next. All right, you got the favorite, you know what I mean, Eric Workman would have been okay with. Jameis Winston, New Orleans Saints coming in here against the Carolina Panthers, who are coming in a plus 150 underdog. And let me pedal back. Said he'd be okay because he was fully okay with Jameis Winston returning to Tampa Bay before Brady showed up. But I know he's glad that he didn't. Anyhow, to you, Chris, who you got on this one?
I've got so Christian McCaffrey has never topped 70 yards against the Saints in his 7 games against them. All right, and Carolina has a good coach, Matt Rule, who they have the best record in the NFL the past year on having the fewest 3-and-outs in the NFL. So I think Carolina wins this game. I do. I think Jameis Winston, I think he had less than 200 yards, but he had 5 touchdowns last week. So I don't know. I'm going to still go with how I really feel about the Saints. So I think last week was more of an aberration, and how bad the Packers suck. They lost me money. And how bad
So
Aaron
you're bitter.
Rodgers sucks. Yeah, I'm bitter too. But yeah, I think they come down to earth this week, and a good Panthers team beats them.
All right. I give it to you, Eric. Go ahead.
I'll go ahead and say that I agree. The Saints, that was the exception, not the rule. I feel like witnessing Jameis firsthand for the start of his career and shit. Yeah, man, I think hell, they picked off Sam Darnold several times. The Panthers did last week. I think they keep the game on the ground. They have the Packers completely abandoned the run game last week. Should have definitely went to Jones way more often. But yeah, no, I definitely think the Panthers pulled this off. Christian McCaffrey, Mr. Everything, gets his all-purpose yards. It doesn't just have to be on the ground. With his 70 yards under on the rushing, I'd say he goes over 100 receiving, and sees the end zone several times. I think that defense is going to do a lot more in the secondary than what the Packers did last week, and I too like the Panthers in this one. I think I'll take the underdog in that as well.
All right, guys. Interesting picks. I'm gonna again be should I say Damon Wayans and be, other guy, that's me, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna say other guys because I'm one guy, but I saw a meme that showed Jameis Winston looking at, the Surface or the iPad, whatever they have on the sideline, that said Jameis Winston watching Aaron Rodgers play like Jameis Winston. Had to laugh. And it was true, so it made it even sweeter. But yeah, I'm gonna be the other guy and go with Jameis Winston. Not gonna go any more long-winded. I'm picking the Saints. I think they get it done, and I think they cash in their favorite. Well, it's not really a cash in, but take it as you want. Anybody got something to add?
I do want to point out that watching that game, Jameis, you said he was under 200 yards with 5 touchdowns. Technically, he was under 100 with 4 touchdowns. And those passes were vintage Jameis Winston because he was definitely off the mark a lot. But those guys were making some spectacular catches. His tight end and Alvin Kamara out there in the flats to keep drives going and get touchdowns on there when they were wide open. So I just don't think lightning strikes the same place twice on that one. But go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm just saying I don't believe in the strength of Carolina without Teddy Bridgewater at their quarterback, but I could be wrong, but I'm not going to be.
What are you talking about? He's better than Teddy Bridgewater. Go ahead.
Moving on. We're going to Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? You got the Raiders in there against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it's on you, E, so you take off.
Yeah, I think we know that one guy that's always harping about the Raiders and stuff like that on it that really just leaves a bad taste in your mouth on it with them. But even with that being said, a lot of luck, I feel like, played into it with the last week.
Yeah, you're going to have to go ahead and start over because you're kind of breaking up there, buddy.
My bad. I said we all know that one guy that harps too much on the Raiders that really leaves a bad taste in your mouth with them. But definitely feel like the Steelers are the better team here. They played really good in week 1, even though the offense couldn't get it rolling. I don't think the Raiders defense, even though they showed out against the Ravens, is as good as Buffalo's defense from last week. And the Steelers still found a way to win against them. I definitely feel like the Steelers not only win this one, but I feel like they get up big and the Raiders don't know how to act and they lose big in this one.
All right. Chris?
Yeah, Derek Carr won't be seeing the coverage that he saw last week this week. The Steelers can get pressure with 4 guys, so they don't even have to blitz, see. And the Raiders, Derek Carr and John Gruden in Eastern time zones are 5-10 against the spread. So, and I think that the Steelers are just a really good defensive team to stop the Raiders. So, yeah, if they can beat the Bills like that, they can beat the Raiders too. Raiders are going to have a rude awakening this week. So, because I think they got kind of lucky last week anyway.
All right. Yeah, guys, this is a game that I probably, if I was advising anybody to make bets, I wouldn't put one down for this one. Because I know we're all singing the praises of the Steelers. Well, you two were. And the Steelers, for all intents and purposes, are just that on defense. Offense, they could go missing at any time. They can. So, they might have came out and played a good football game against the Bills, but I think they stumble here and let the Raiders still win on the road. Yeah, picking the Vegas Raiders to come in here and raid the pantry and knock the daughter up and walk out the front door with the television set. Anybody got anything else to add to this one?
Yeah, the Raiders had lost 2 guys in their offensive line against in that win against the Ravens, so it's going to come back to hurt them in this one.
I think they already just beat a better football team on Monday Night Football, but we're moving along. Moving along to the Buffalo, wagon circling motherfuckers, and they're playing the Dolphins. I'm going to go to you, Chris. What you got on this one? This is a division game for your New England Patriots.
Yeah, so look, back to that game that they had with the Steelers, there was a lot of bullshit that happened in that game to make the Bills lose. There's like a blocked punt, some fumbles, and all kinds of shit. But the Steelers do have a good special teams and a good defense. But anyways, I think that the Bills will get back to business in this game. And while the Dolphins do have a good defense, I don't think that Tua and their offense has any type of firepower to stay with the Bills in this game if they were to get up a little bit. So that's what I'm going. I think Tua kind of isn't that good. I'm not a Tua fan, so Tua, Josh Allen, it's not hard for me to pick that.
Eric?
Yeah, what's the spread on this one?
3.5 for the Bills.
Yeah, I want to say the Dolphins so bad. I really do. I think their defense
Say it, sir.
is grossly underrated. Hold on, I'll get there. God damn it, all the hell. But I think their defense is grossly underrated. Special teams, they're a solid team. Man, Gaskin at running back, I'm not a huge fan of. Their weapons are good. Tua's better than Chris gives him credit for. I'll say the Dolphins pull it off. Fuck it. You know what I mean? The Dolphins lead this division right now at 1-0. Every other team lost in week 1. And I think they keep it going and keep the lead with 2-0 in this one. 2-0 for Tua. Let's give them that.
First of all, they should have lost the game against the Patriots. However, Harris had to fumble on the 10-fucking-yard line. So, and we also kind of had some bad possessions where he settled for field goals instead of touchdowns. Mac Jones' first game, but that's okay. We're going to bounce back this week. So, and the Dolphins are going to bounce back this week. So,
what you got, Sal?
All right. Well, my pick, I'll keep it short and sweet. I don't like either of these teams that much. You know what I mean? I don't think they're great. I think they overachieved last year. I think that the Buffalo Bills do get it done. I think they win this game because they are a little bit better than the Miami Dolphins. But again, I don't have Buffalo making the playoffs this year. I'm going to say that every week. All right, anybody got anything to add before we move on? All right. Next game, you got the LA Rams going into Indianapolis playing the underdog Colts. Eric, I think it's on you. Take off, buddy.
Man, I really don't want to hate on the Colts because I feel like they played a good game last week, except for their secondary. Carson Wentz looked decent in his showing, his opening up on that, and man, it was a tough one. They just couldn't deal with Russell Wilson throwing the ball deep on them. And if we all watched the Rams play last week, that's all they did was throw the ball deep all game long with Matt Stafford in his debut against a decent defense and the Chicago Bears. So, yeah, I got to give the Rams the edge in this one. I think the Colts secondary, unfortunately, loses it for them 2 weeks in a row with them just getting carved up by a rejuvenated Matt Stafford in a situation that a lot of Detroit Lions wish they could have been in to get out of there and get on a decent team.
Absolutely. Chris, what do you got to add?
Yeah, the Colts offensive line struggled a lot last week, and they're going to struggle again this week against the Rams. They couldn't get any holes for Jonathan Taylor. The good thing for them, though, was that if the Rams did anything bad last week, it was kind of gave up too much on the ground to the Bears. So we'll see what if the Colts can take advantage of the only slim chance they have. But yeah, I don't think that it works for them. They're not going to be able to protect Carson Wentz in this one. And I, too, don't think they get much rushing yards. And the Rams are going to be throwing it all over the place. So, sorry, Colts fans. It's going to be a tough week for y'all.
All right, guys. I echo the same sentiment. I think the Rams get this done. I don't think the Colts are just. I think they are a second, maybe even third tier team. And I think that'll show come Sunday. I think the Rams come from a division that is the best in the NFL right now. And again, Stafford and the Rams for the win. Add this one to your parlay, guys. Moving on. You got the New England Patriots playing the New York Jets. MetLife Stadium, correct? Okay. So go ahead, Eric. Or whichever. One of you guys jump in.
All right, so
There
I
you
already
go.
said that we should have. I already said we should have won our game last week. So, but this week we're playing the Jets, and while we should have won last week, the Jets were busy making the Panthers defense look like the '85 Bears. I think we're going to go out there and I think we're going to kick their ass. We're going to show Zach Wilson what it's like when a rookie quarterback plays against Bill Belichick's scheme defense. And look, if you watch that game, he didn't look good. He was like 1 for 8 or some shit for a minute there. Like, it wasn't looking good for Zach Wilson. It's going to be even uglier for him this week. So I'm taking the Patriots all day in this. Let's go. We're favored by 6.
Yeah, I'm not standing on ceremony with this one for little Chris there. I think Zach Wilson got the rookie jitters out of the way. He talks about Bill Belichick-led defenses, but Tua, he doesn't like Tua, and Tua's a second-year quarterback. I know that's way better than a first year, but he still did what he needed to do to get the win last week on it. And
It wasn't because of Tua. They didn't have very much. They had like 246 total yards of offense in that game or some shit. It wasn't very much, buddy. Nothing to hang your hat on to reflect on.
okay, it was enough to get the win, and that's what I'm going with. And I think the Jets go in there and they do it fucking this week. I think the Patriots start 0-2 in
Get
the
the
division,
fuck out of here.
and I think Zach Wilson shows off these multi-level arm throws that everybody's raving about that got him drafted high anyways. The comparisons to Patrick Mahomes and all this shit. Is Stephon Gilmore still not out there? I'm just saying, I don't think the secondary is good enough on it right now. It's going to be a tough one with Mekhi Becton, their stud left tackle for the Jets. If he's not in there, that's going to hurt that offensive line a
Yeah,
lot.
he's out. He's out.
I,
He's
I,
out, and
I,
their veteran strong safety Lamarcus Joyner's out also. And they also
yeah,
lost their punter in that game too. Oops. It's going to be a bad day for the Jets, and you're an idiot for
obviously, Chris
Takeo.
feels strongly about this one. He wears the red, white, and blue, whether it's USA men's basketball or the Patriots, apparently. But I said what I said. The Jets go in there and get
All
the
right.
win.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to run with the New England Patriots, begrudgingly so. But I just don't believe in the Jets. Never have. And I know they're probably going to steal some wins this season here and there. I just don't think they steal this one.
It ain't going to be against the Patriots.
Slow down there, buddy. Take it easy, all right? You're on 3rd Street. Now move it. Anyways, what I'm saying is that it's a team that knows them well, a division team, Bill Belichick team. I don't think Bill Belichick comes 0-2 out the gates. You know what I mean? Rookie quarterback, you know what I mean, or not. So, yeah, going with the New England Patriots. Not a pick I feel strongly about, but I think they get it done. All right, anybody got something before we move on?
I don't have faith in the Patriots rookie quarterback either. It's 2 rookie quarterbacks as far as I'm concerned. And I feel like it's a toss-up, but I'm definitely going with the Jets on it. So.
All right. Next game. You got the Cincinnati Bengals.
Let's replay this next week.
You got the Cincinnati Bengals playing the Chicago Bears. Eric, go ahead and take off on this one.
Man, we just saw the Rams carve up the Bears secondary, and lo and behold, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, who was dropping everything in the preseason, came out and looked really good against the Vikings last week. Like Joe Mixon at running back, I'm just not until the Bears commit to Justin Fields and stop playing both sides of the fence with keeping Andy Dalton in there. I say the Bengals beat them. And, yeah, it'd be a close game, but I think the Bengals pull this one off.
All right, Chris?
Hell yeah, I'm riding with the Bengals too. The Bears suck. And they Andy Dalton more specifically. And Matt Nagy still wants to keep him in there or whatever. He sucks too then. But yeah, the thing is, the Bengals are kind of like a young version of the Rams, if you will. So I think it's going to be the same deal. And yeah, last week Joe Burrow carved him up with an efficient 27 attempts to beat the Vikings. So yeah, they're about to bust their ass. Riding with the underdog all day on that one.
All right, well, where I'm going on this one, I think you guys are absolutely right and absolutely spot on. I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals as well. It sounds kind of crazy because last week I kind of said, oh, the Cincinnati Bengals suck, quote unquote. And I don't think they're great, but I think they're better than the Bears. I don't know how I feel about them going forward, but we'll see how they take care of a team that, quite frankly, just needs taken care of. All right, anybody got anything else to add before we move on? All right.
Sweep on the Bengals.
All right, sweep on the Bengals. All right, the Bengals. All right. You got the Atlanta Falcons. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Your team, Eric, I'll give you the honors.
Well, man, negative 800 on that on the money line. Man, where am I going with this? The Bucs obviously are the favorite to do it all this year. You can go ahead and keep that 2021 championship for the Niners shit to yourself. Go ahead and throw back to back with my boys' names on it. Tampa Bay in a very definitive win here. Atlanta couldn't handle the Eagles that are young as hell all over the place. The veteran leadership
good Eagles
sprinkled
team
in with the youth on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is going to be overwhelming for the Atlanta Falcons. We knew they were rebuilding when they shipped Julio out. They don't have the cap to keep the good players there right now. Bunch of bad contracts and shit over the years and stuff have caught up with them. So yeah, definitely Tampa Bay. I won't waste any more time on that.
Yeah, you're wasting our time anyways because the pick in this play is the Falcons plus 12.5 because this is an overreaction on the spread due to last week. Again, the Falcons aren't great, but they're not that bad, and got rid of Julio Jones. It's because they drafted Kyle Pitts, and Calvin Ridley is more than a formidable number one option. So that's why they did that. Now, Tom Brady has never in his life lost to Matt Ryan, so I don't think that's going to happen on Sunday either. But I think they win between 7 and 10 more than they win between 14 and 21 or something.
All right, well, guys, I'm just gonna say it like this. I think that the boy Chris over here is just finding another complicated way to lose you some money. I mean, just pick these guys to win if you're gonna bet it at all. I know that's not where the money is right there because they're a huge favorite, but you know what I mean. Don't go finagling the point spread. You know what I mean, unless it's a lower margin than what they're set out to win. I mean, do something safe with it. But if you want to listen to this guy, you know what I mean, maybe he cashes in and then more power to him. But yeah, Buccaneers win this one. I think they beat the smoke off of, you know what I mean, these guys. I think Atlanta is washed now. I think Matt Ryan's, you know, best years are obviously, you know, in the rear view, and he's just not a fraction. I mean, he's only a fraction of the quarterback that he once was coming out of Boston College, I believe. So yeah, Buccaneers get it done. Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, the division rival thing might be the only thing that helps them keep it kind of close. But I'm sorry, Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts were on there last week when the young, hapless fucking Eagles just dog walked them. If the Eagles beat them by 20 plus points, the Bucks can do that in their sleep. I don't see this being anywhere near close. And
like Marcel and the Niners are going to learn, that's because the Eagles have such a great defense
out there.
All right.
All right.
And I'm not betting any money on the Falcons either. For the record, my money is on the Rams -3 and the Eagles +3. That's where my money's all at this week right now.
So we can move forward.
All right. I mean, you did go, length on about the money is on the spread, but we'll go ahead and move on. Next game, you got the Minnesota Vikings, the Arizona Cardinals. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead and continue.
So the Cardinals defense held Derrick Henry to 58 yards on 17 carries last week, and the Vikings run their defense through Dalvin Cook, who only had 61 yards last week in overtime against the Bengals. So I think that's a bad recipe for the Vikings. And also, did you guys see the Cardinals last week? Kyler Murray looked like he was the damn MVP already. So, yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals in this one. That's an easy pick for me.
Yeah, I mean, Chandler Jones looked like John Bones Jones the way he was putting Ryan Tannehill on the map.
Johnny,
He had
Johnny.
5 sacks.
You know what I'm saying?
He had 5 sacks.
Yeah,
I think he had 4 in the
John
first
Jones
half.
said he worked his ass off.
Yeah, 2 strip fumbles on that one as well in those 5 sacks. And Kirk Cousin, damn, I ain't seen a human statue like him since fucking Drew Bledsoe back in the day. Sorry about that, Chris. But no, yeah, I just don't see Kirk getting it done. He's got weapons downfield. Dalvin's good. I get all that. But if you couldn't stop Joe Burrow, God bless America, I don't see him stopping Kyler Murray on it. Nuke Hopkins out there. I mean, they got AJ Green just for shits and giggles. Like I don't see it happening. I'll take Arizona for sure in this one. I'm pretty sure he started, right?
Yeah, I already started. I just took the Cardinals.
My bad on that,
Hope you have
guys.
one more sub.
My bad on that. Relax. Take it easy, all right? Do we gotta go to the Third Street bit again? Do we gotta go to the Third Street bit again? All right. I don't want to go back to Third Street. Anyways, like, okay, guys. I think it's unanimous. I keep saying this over and over because it's true, and I say facts. You know what I mean? Best division in football. The Cardinals just get it done. Better team. You know, better quarterback. And that's what it's gonna come down to because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? The Tennessee Titans are set up to be an elite football team, but they are held back by the guy under fucking center. He can't navigate. He's got Brown, Jones, and Henry in the backfield. You know what I mean? Like, this is a passing league, all right? And Henry just couldn't get going because if they stop Henry, they win the game, and that's exactly what happened. They got blown out. He could not find his weapons. I mean, I don't know what the hell happened. I just know he's not the guy. And if Tennessee ever wants to be an elite team like they are geared to be, especially right now, they need to get his ass out of there and get somebody in there that can do it. I mean, it might be too late for these guys now. But yeah, going with the Cardinals. Anybody
Well,
get?
they need to get it.
Their secondary sucks. The cornerbacks are terrible.
They can't get it going on offense though. And the last year, the reason why they got it going on offense is because of Henry. He was running wild, but everybody knows that's where it's at now. They shut him the fuck down. And I know he got shut down, I think, in the playoffs when they lost, but this was an epic shutdown. All right, so 2 games in a row he's getting shut down.
That
Maybe
Cardinals
I
pass
don't know.
rush, I feel like did the damn thing more than the rush defense. But it is what it is. Once you get down by so much, the running game is going out the window, anyways.
It's obsolete. And I said this was a passing league, especially when you're down. But this is a passing league. I mean, nobody really ran wild in week 1. I mean, there was some good offensive performances that came via the air assault, I believe. I mean, anybody got something to add else?
Yeah,
There was a couple of running backs that broke loose on it for a big run or two, but there was nobody that just completely dominated it. But I feel like we beat up enough on the Titans in this game that doesn't have to do with the Titans. So let's move on.
You're right. Absolutely. Let's
move
go.
on to the Titans. Titans, Seahawks.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on because that was the next game. And go ahead, Chris. What you got on this one? Titans Seahawks.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, Titans defense looked terrible against Arizona. Kyler Murray is tough, but so is Russell Wilson. So it's gonna be the same outcome. And the Titans just need to get used to their new offensive coordinator, Todd Downing, too. So they got a whole new offensive system that they're implementing too. Well, we're being so critical of the Titans.
I mean, they are geared to win. They just don't have the quarterback.
For sure.
Do you guys disagree? You guys disagree? Do you guys disagree? I know we're talking Titans, Seattle, but the Titans are geared to be an elite team. I mean, but if they had a better quarterback, you don't think an elite quarterback going in there or somebody that can really get something done offensively and make plays, he's more accurate with better decision making, could make them a Super Bowl contender? I mean, is that like out of this world for me to say? I mean, if I'm off base, say it.
I mean, I don't know. We just have to see what Tannehill has in him this year. I mean, he's been decent so far. I don't know if he's the reason why they're not winning a Super Bowl. I don't pay that close attention to the Titans specifically, but they've been a decent team. I mean, nobody's talked shit about Tannehill to this point very much. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's not like
let's
he's
be
the
let's
reason
be
why they're
real about it.
losing. Their
Let's be real
defense
about it.
sucks.
Jesus fucking Christ. Let's be real about it. Every team would, benefit from elite fucking quarterback on their squad. There's only like
Right.
5 or 6 of them in the fucking league, though. Most teams have to deal with an average or above average type quarterback. Not everybody's got an elite guy. Ryan Tannehill, I feel like, can get the job done for the most part, but Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you throw him somebody like Kyler Murray or somebody that's emerging on it, somebody, there's some better quarterbacks out there that could play in this system, but there's only so many of those. So you got to kind of deal with what you got. They got the weapons on the outside. Julio Jones has been there, limited, opportunities with Tannehill. The timing was definitely not there between those two. If you watch that game, they're a step or two off or on every throw and every catch. It just wasn't working with them. I feel like when they do get it working, it will be a lot better. And not everybody's going to hold Derrick Henry down like that. So I feel like there can be some better stuff on that end of it. Definitely, I'll hang the hat more on the defense on this one, and that's why I'm going to pick the Seahawks in this because I like everything about the Titans in this one except for them to be able to defend against Tyler Lockett and fucking DK Metcalf. Like that, they're just Kevin Byard's a Pro Bowl safety. I give him that. But Adoree Jackson, he's just a speedster. I mean, he really can't hang. I feel like in the physicality with some of these physical cornerbacks. And I mean, it was just a clinic last week against the Colts with those two out there in the secondary. Tyler Lockett's damn near bending over backwards catching footballs and stuff. Russell Wilson's just got to throw it in their vicinity, which he's more than capable of doing. And and then they got the ball. So I like this game. I think this will be a damn good one to watch, and it's going to be a close one. But I think the Seahawks are going to inch this one out against Tennessee.
So you're taking the Titans with the spread?
What's the spread on this one? 3?
6.5.
6.5. Yikes. Yeah, I don't like the Seahawks to cover on that. I like the money line on it.
Yeah, gotta move on. Gotta move on. I'm also going with Seattle on this one. I think they get it done. I do think that Tennessee is waking up, and I think they do produce something through the air and on the ground. I echo the same sentiment again, Eric. I think it's a good game, but I think Seattle does get it done. Moving on to the next game, you got the Dallas Cowboys.
You got Seattle.
Yep, got Seattle. Got Seattle. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys versus the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Cowboys are the underdogs that look good against Tampa Bay, but they're underdogs in here against these Chargers. Go ahead, Eric. What you got on this one?
But this is my pick to come across this week. But we got the E.H. Taylor single barrel bottled in bond. It's 100 proof, straight out of Buffalo Trace in Kentucky. It's a very highly renowned distillery and stuff. It's a little hard to come across this one, but it is a solid pick. Always hit it in the Glencairn for optimal performance. But, yeah, it's a tasty one. Classic bourbon notes, nice and sweet on it. Not a lot of burn on the 100 proof. I think it's a fan favorite if you can get your hands on it. Now, back to the game.
Your bourbon of the week, is that what that is?
Such your burden pick then.
All right, so that's your bourbon pick of the week, and this is, and who do you got in this game? Dallas or the Chargers?
Man, that's a good bourbon, and that's going to be a good game. But once again, in a close game, Dallas usually finds a way to lose. I got a lot of faith in Justin Herbert. I just do. I like him. Mike Williams dropped a lot of passes last week. He kept going back to him, got him in the end zone and shit, really built up his receivers. As long as Austin Eckler stays healthy, he's a dual threat out of the backfield that just can't be contended with. That defense is nice with Derwin James healthy and Joey Bosa as well. I'm going with the Chargers in this one.
All right. I think Chris, I think you're going to say a lot of the same here. What do you got on this one?
Hell yeah, I have to agree. The Chargers are definitely going to win. I'll take the hook too. I don't care. 3.5. I think the Chargers win.
Oh yeah.
I know the Chargers winning by a lot or covering a spread is kind of, but Justin Herbert's tight, and he's gonna have a big ass day against the Cowboys defense.
All right, so Chris has the Chargers. All right, so I am also taking the Chargers here. They they couldn't get it going against, you know what I mean? They couldn't. They actually played a better defense last week than what they're going to get this week. So I think Herbert, looks even better than he did last week, and beats these Dallas Cowboys. And yeah, I'm going with the Chargers as well. So that is the Chargers down the board. Everybody's picking them to beat these Dallas Cowboys. Moving on to the next game, you got the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. Who you got in this one, Eric?
Man, I think Baltimore put up a bold performance last week. I do like them and Lamar Jackson. I don't think the fumble issues are going to continue, but they started the season with 12 players on injured reserve already. They lost more last week. They just don't have the bodies. They're pulling people off the practice squad left and right. I think Kansas City showed us why they're the gold standard in the AFC last week. It doesn't matter what game they're in, how much they're down. They're still in the game, and they can find a way to win. And I think the Chiefs find a way to win this one as well. I don't know what the spread is on this to make Chris happy or whatever to pick whether the Chiefs will cover it. But let's go ahead.
It's 3.5 for the Chiefs.
Let's go ahead and say they cover that.
All right. Chris, can you give me the short version?
Yeah, the Ravens are pretty banged up this week, of course, and they looked extremely mortal last week. So I'm thinking that the Chiefs, after having the wake-up call from last week against the Browns, are going to come out and be a little bit more aggressive in the first half of this game. Also, though, I'll let you know, this is only the second time that Lamar Jackson has ever been a home underdog in his career. So while you're betting against him, think about that. But I do like the Chiefs. It's going to be a nice Sunday night game, too. So, but yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs in that one.
More of the same, Marcel?
I think this one's a playoff preview. I think both of these teams are good football teams. However, I don't think that, Derek Carr, you know what I mean, and Waller went wild against them, you know what I mean. And Carr found some other targets too. And I think Lamar ran his ass off, you know what I mean, did everything that he could, even though the fumbles ultimately played a major factor in their demise. I'm gonna go with Kansas City. I think they're a better team offensively than the Raiders, and you saw what they did, taking the Chiefs. All right, moving on to the last game. This is on Monday Night Football, I believe. You got the Green Bay Packers. You got the Detroit Lions. Chris, starting with you, how you think this one goes?
Well, I think the Lions are Jared Goffel. Yeah, I think the Lions are going to be Jared Goffel because they suck, and I think the Packers bounce back here after their terrible performance last week.
All right, Eric.
Yeah, man, I think the only thing worse than Chris's joke was that fucking pick on it. I'm not gonna lie, man. I think the rust and shit and everything that Aaron Rodgers did in the offseason, arguing with the team, doing all this and this and that. There's no place for divas in this league. I think history's shown us that, and I think that the ballsy performance that the Lions put on to come back against the Niners last week, I think that carries over. These are division rivals that see each other a lot. They know what they got going on. I'm not a huge fan of Jared Goff. I'm not going to lie. I've been vocally critical of him plenty of times on it. But DeAndre Swift in them, I feel like there's some pieces there. I don't like their corner, Jeff Okudah, going down last week and being out. I think that hurts them a little bit. But really, the Packers are, if you get them one-dimensional, get them throwing Devontae Adams, you can get them out of their game. If they're not going to hand the ball off to Aaron Jones and Dylan, then they make themselves one-dimensional like they did last week. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Detroit Lions in the upset this week.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and close it out by saying this. I think that Aaron Rodgers is still, obviously, he's an elite quarterback, but I feel like, yes, he ruffles some feathers. He is putting on the diva, persona that you put out there, Eric. But again, the Detroit Lions, you know what I mean, like, let me circle back. The Packers are better defensively, especially in the secondary, than what they performed, and I think they play well enough to beat the Detroit Lions, who are not a good team. They weren't last year. I don't think they've added the pieces to beat a team like Green Bay right now, because Green Bay has got something to prove. Aaron Rodgers has something to prove, because that was a very lifeless performance. So yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers goes out there and shows that he's still Aaron Rodgers, gets this one done, wins the game he should win, and we'll see how he looks, a division game, and we'll see how he looks going forward, but I think he does get this one done. Anybody got anything else to add?
For right now, we definitely know that he looks like Frank Gallagher is the main takeaway.
Yeah, Frank Gallagher. I've seen the meme. I've seen the meme.
Exactly.
All right.
But yeah, so the Lions secondary, the Lions defense is really bad. And so, which is why the 49ers did so well too. Which is why they had like the worst defense in the NFL last year. But yeah, I think the Packers take advantage of that and they win by a couple scores. But after they lost my money last week, definitely won't be betting on them this week. And if they do lose or whatever to the Lions, I'll be happy to get a laugh out of that. So.
Well, you need to focus on the Eagles that are losing your money this week. But guys, hey, that's the show. Thanks for coming on. Anybody got anything else to say before I let you guys go?
Yeah, I do. Dak Prescott, you didn't let me finish. He sucks. He's lost his last 6 out of 7 games to AFC opponents. He has a losing record statistically to his whole career to losing opponents, and he's 2-3 in his last 5 games at covering the spread. So
I'll add something in there about Dallas since Chris is shitting on them so much. I definitely like the unique approach to their linebackers that they have going for that defense. They got Keanu Neal, a converted safety that was drafted by Atlanta. That's a really good safety, and Micah Parsons, a stud rookie this year, in there. And they put them as the starters to take over for Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith, 2 stellar linebackers in their own regard, and they're swapping them in and out. And I feel like if they get that combination going to where they put those players in the right positions, that's going to be a crazy linebacker combo and something unique in the NFL that you don't see right now. And if they can make that work, I feel like that's going to help that defense out tremendously, and we're going to be singing a different tune about them going forward.
All right. I think that's more than enough. Thanks guys for that last little bit. Dallas Cowboys. We'll see where they go from here. I think both of your feathers are ruffled with how closely they played you guys in week 1. But yeah, we'll see how good they look. We'll see how Dak looks. Hey guys, championship rounds. That's my picks. Thanks guys again for coming on. Get out of here. All right. Stay frosty.
What I say is real, homie, I just said it was. I don't gotta lie to niggas just to get a buzz.
Like, I be busting guns, I keep liquor in my cup. I do a bunch of drugs and I'm always turning up.
Man, these local rappers talking about some shit that they made up when they looking like some scrubs and they can't get in the club.
Yeah, I was born in Muncie, man, I'm a fucking blood.
Train tracks on his arms, yeah, that nigga shooting up. New J's on his feet while he waiting on the bus. Got his steelo from the 90s, see the nigga couldn't adjust.
Yeah, I'm on heroin.
And he ain't got no teeth. Rapping on the track, talking about he run the streets. When it come to money, I know that you have the leads. Talking shit behind my back like you really want some beef. Man, that nigga soft.
He's always on that iPad.
Yeah, you can run your mouth, but you cannot
That's
with my
'cause I am
ass.
not a rapper.